We are back with another build episode on the Skyline that's right here behind me. In the last episode, we did the front fender and the rear quarter, so that's roughly done, but there's still a lot of fiberglass work that needs to be done to make it 100%. Today, we're gonna start on the passenger side, which would be the American driver side, since this is a right-hand drive vehicle, and potentially installing those wheels down there, as you can see. They will not fit the wide body at all, but I need to get the proper specs in order to get the proper wheels. And the best thing I can do right now is to run wheel spacers plus some really good offset wheels. So stay tuned to see how today goes. First off though, I gotta rotate this car around. Now we have a ton of room to work with, so that should be a lot easier to move around. I'm going to start with taking the side skirt off, and then we're going to do the front fender, and then we'll work on the back section here. I am going to switch it up and not use the grinder because I almost actually caught the inside on fire last time I was doing this. I mean, I don't actually think that it was going to catch on fire. I just opened the door and it was really, really smoky, so I don't want to continue doing that again. So what we're going to do instead is use a jigsaw that I picked up from Walmart, which I also didn't need to buy because I had one in this car the entire time. But we're going to use that with a metal cutting blade, and hopefully this makes less sparks, not as dangerous, and it's just the whole thing basically is making it as safe as possible. No clue if this is gonna work, but we're gonna try it, and hopefully it does, because I don't want to use the grinder. One, because it's really loud, but two, because sparks go everywhere and I don't want to catch anything on fire. If you guys didn't remember, on the other side, I went ahead and cut the rear quarter about an inch just so it would sit closer to the fuel door area, and that worked out really well. I'm thinking I'm gonna actually cut the front about an inch again so it brings it in just a hair, because I can fit my whole finger through there. But overall, everything else here is looking good. And I went ahead and did basically the same thing on this side, so it's gonna match perfectly and not be an inch wider here than it is on that side. So I think that's gonna work out. I might cut the front a little bit as well, depending on how off it looks compared to each other, but I won't know until I put the panel back on and cut that side, or I might leave it alone. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure that out. We're currently on day number 2 of the Nissan Skyline build, and yesterday I had to leave a little bit early because my drill battery died. So hopefully today we don't run into the same issue. It's fully charged up, ready to go, and we're basically gonna just continue working on the rear quarter and then install the front fender and see where else we have to trim, and then we can test with the wheels. I'm really excited because it's looking kind of cool, not gonna lie, from the back end at least. Let me show you. So it's gonna be a little hard to tell with the lighting that's back here, but that's kind of what it's looking like right now. I mean, I feel like that looks pretty cool from the back. I don't know.
I'm buzzing, let's drink up. You look like big fun. Come on, let's get it on. Like that, I'm gazing. I'm stunning, love it. Come on, give me something. I know that you want it. Come on, give me something. The night is young and so are we. So maybe you should leave with me. The night is young and so are we, baby. The night is young, so let's have some fun. If you love me
definitely not perfect, but I went ahead and folded up everything that's on the side, got as close as possible. The plan for this is to get another piece of aluminum or something, rivet it on the inside here. I would weld it, but I don't know how to weld. And actually I could probably get somebody to weld because we have Eric over there who is welding his exhaust. So I might just do little tacks all throughout and then seam sealer with the aluminum plate that's gonna be in here. And it just should extend out all the way to where the fender flare or the quarter panel is gonna be. Not entirely sure how I'm gonna go about it just yet, but that's kinda the plan. Again, it looks like crap right now, so don't judge it until the finished look. Also, the finished look might still look like crap, but still, we're gonna just work with it for now. And while this tire is off, I'm gonna go ahead and test fit both sets of wheels and see how they look. So before I do that, I need to put the quarter panel back on, and then a wheel spacer, and then a wheel, and see where our fitment lies. For testing purposes, I'm only gonna put 3 lug nuts somewhat on. I don't need to do all of them because I'm gonna take this on and off multiple different times. Well, it looks like I still need to go even wider on the fitment. It still has to go out about another 2 inches. So that's insane. Let me test fit the other wheels and see if they pop out any further. When I show you this, ignore the tire because the tire is way too small for this wheel. It's very, very stretched and it looks stupid. But to get a better idea of how off it is, look at the wheel itself, or the rim, however you want to call it, and it looks as if it's almost gonna touch the quarter panel. So I think we'll be okay with that offset. Let me lower it down to C. So it's taking all the weight, and it cambered in quite a bit actually, so that sucks. Okay, time to run another wheel spacer. Actually, I have a 1-inch wheel spacer in the trunk, not that big boy there. So we'll try that, and then we'll test fit these wheels again, because that's gonna be a much better fitment than those wheels. Test fit number 3. Right now it's looking like it'll fit, but I won't know until I lower it because it's gonna camber in. What I'll probably do while I'm here is actually drop the coil over a little bit so that way it's closer to what it would be if I get a new set of wheels for it. But we'll see. I really don't know if it's gonna work. I'm gonna lower it down a little bit and see if I can make that fitment a little bit better, but spacing wise, I think we got it. Well, I went ahead and did some measuring off camera just to see spacing and how bad it actually is. I don't want to go over 3 inches on the wheel spacers because that seems like way too much for me, and I don't want to destroy a wheel bearing or anything like that. And currently on the rear, there's a total of 2 inches, so that's not bad. It does need to pop out probably a ½ inch more on the, I think they're plus 15 or plus 12 offset wheels. I need to do that for sure, know that for sure. But if I do 2.5 inch wheel spacers, I think that'll be perfect, and that's still not going to completely destroy the wheel bearing. I mean, it can over time, but it's not going to be that bad, hopefully speaking. I really don't know. I've never tested it with that big of wheel spacer before. That should fix the rear. As for the front, I think I need a total of 2 inches on the front. Right now there is an inch, a little over an inch on wheel spacer. And as you can see, it needs to come out a whole another inch, inch and a half. So it could be 2.5 in the rear and then 2 inch on the front, and that should theoretically fit. I'm not entirely sure, but basically it would look like this on the front, and I'm still worried that's going to be too much, so I'm hoping I can run just this one side and it worked just fine, but I won't know until I get the new set of wheels. What I'm going to go ahead and do is throw these back on now that I have the correct measurements, or close to the correct measurements, and that's going to be pretty much close to the correct wheel size, because again, I want to run 18s, not 17s, and that'll let me see where the tire's going to sit. And if I decide to lower it today, then I'll at least have the proper gap fitment when it comes to the wheel well going up and down. That would be the proper gap fitment. So Let's reverse everything we just did, put those wheels on, and then we'll decide if we want to lower it in today's video or if we can do that in another video. But overall, I think it's looking really good. It's a little crazy. I'm excited for it still. The car back to its original position before we started the video, and it's looking so good. Oh, also I put that on the window off camera, and overall, I mean, it's looking good. Bumper's kind of installed, kind of not installed. I have to adjust the intercooler piping because it is putting so much pressure on this front bumper. But here is the front of the car. It is stupid wide. Ignore the wheels, they don't fit, but the other ones did kind of fit. And I got the right offset. I've also got the other wheels ordered, so we're good on there. Just look how wide it is. This is so stupid. Oh my God, what am I thinking? What is wrong with me? I definitely need to do window tint at some point because the fact you can see through this is kind of depressing. But it is stupid wide. I have a problem. Overall, I think the car's looking great. There are a lot of adjustments I have to do within the body panels. Like this front fender, I just learned that it is not adjusted correctly or not adjusted enough. And the headlight is also going this direction. It needs to go that direction, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of adjustments that I have to do just to make the body lines fit and make everything look really, really good. But that's the wide body pretty much installed. Now we have to sand everything, prime everything, paint it, test fit the new wheels. That'll be here in like a week. So that'll probably be the next video, is test fitting those. They may not have tires on them yet. I don't know. I mean, I got to figure that out, but it's looking really, really cool. I'm so excited for this build. I know some of you may be worried about the wheel spacers, and trust me, I am also worried about it, but I think that the 1.5 inch on the front will be perfect. And then I ended up just doing 2 inch on the rear, and these are GK Tech rear wheel spacers, and I think that's actually going to work really, really well. As you can tell, the fitment's not that far off, and once the new wheels come in, I think that should set perfect. I still have some hammering to do on this side, by the way. I didn't do that in this video, but the other side is hammered. I just need to weld, rivet, get more pieces of aluminum or something, and then seam seal everything, and it'll be good. The plan is to run a sheet of aluminum from this side here to underneath here. That way it's one solid, strong support, which it's already pretty strong, not gonna lie. And just like that, that brings us to the end of today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's not my art content, I know it's not my skate content, but it is car content, which I really do enjoy. So I hope it comes across as that, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. Who's excited for the build? I know I am. But anyway, that's gonna be it. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay awesome. Later. Oh, that was easy. Wow.